All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back once again to the Great Scott Podcast. Today, I am joined by fellow podcaster, Miss Kylie Montigney. How's it going, Kylie?
Doing well. How are you doing?
I'm good. So I pronounced the last name right, right?
It's Montigny, but it was close.
Montigney. Montigney. Oh, my
Yeah, it's no
apologies.
worries. A lot of people get it wrong. A lot of people pronounce it around the same thing, so it's all good.
I just want to start off by saying you are 16 years old, right?
17. That's turned
17, you
7.
just turned 17. And
Mhm.
I don't think you're doing enough, Kylie, because I want to read off some of the stuff that you're doing currently. You're the host of two different podcasts. You work for the Scranton Wilkes Barre Rail Riders as part of the Pinstripe Patrol promotions team. And additionally, you serve as the Student Food Recovery Fellow and Media Specialist for the Food Dignity Movement,
Hmm.
all while probably going to school at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, well, being a full-time student is very much a very hard thing to do with all these things, but
I bet. I bet. Yeah. That's gonna be my question. How do you do it all?
Honestly, it's very difficult. As a 17-year-old high school student, it's very difficult to manage everything at once with doing so many things and managing. But honestly, it's all about personally scheduling, like figure out, okay, what days do I want to do podcast episodes, or what days do I want to make time for myself? Like it's all about for me, it's all kind of about scheduling and making sure I have time to do a variety of different things like school, editing, doing work for my jobs and stuff. So it's all about really kind of making sure you have like that balance in between, in which I'm still struggling with trying to find that balance in scheduling, which I'm so bad at scheduling and over scheduling myself. So it's all really kind of finding that balance between everything going on and trying to make sure I have time for things that I want to do besides work 24/7.
So social life and dating are not exactly on the table for right now, then, apparently.
Probably not, but it's always time for that. But at
Oh,
the
yes,
moment, it's
absolutely.
not a big thing.
Now, you talking about and I also want to mention that you are part of or you started the Empower movement, which
Hmm.
is about women's rights in the media.
Hmm.
And I don't see too many women that are comedians, which I know there are, and TV hosts. It seems like that they are excluded, that more men seem to get the jobs than women.
Yeah, that is such a big thing. That is something that I see often is like maybe TV hosts, people in STEM and everything. There's so many underrepresentation, especially in sports. A lot of like the sports world, whether it's baseball, hockey, basketball, and everything, whatever sport you name it, is very represented. And even with television, now a lot of people base off of finding inspiration what they want to do on television. And of course, every year it's always progress and everything, but there's still a lot of work to be done. Whether it's like a TV host or STEM or even comedians, there's a lot of male comedians, up and coming like Matt Rife, Tom Segura, and some of those people. But there's honestly so many female comedians and TV hosts that I personally know that are up and coming and that there be maybe one of those people like Kevin Hart or somebody that's going to be a next big thing. But it's always like there's still a lot of work to be done in terms of representation. But yeah, it's a very big thing to see someone like you into get into a different career field than what they're doing.
And what I was going to say before I had mentioned the Empower movement that you're doing, you also are very vocal about your anxiety and depression, which is something that I struggle with myself. And how's it that you handle that? Does being busy help out the anxiety and depression?
It's a yes and a no. It's a mix of both. Sometimes it does keep me on my toes to prevent my anxiety and depression from all those thoughts, but with being so busy, it does cause and like a amount of stress because of course sometimes I get overworked and feel exhausted. I burn myself out. That is usually what causes anxiety in my work. Like, of course, trying to find a balance, like we talked about earlier. Um, is something I always struggle with, but it does have its ins and outs. But work that I do is always very impactful to keep myself very busy and get my mind off things.
And you're also very passionate about sports as well. The Dodgers are a big team of yours, the Seattle Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see here. There was one other one that I think I'm missing here. Oh, this Penn State Nittany Lions as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my family is a diehard sports fan, so like of course, with being from Pennsylvania, Penn State's always a go-to for us. So, those are my usually go-to teams to root for when they're playing.
I was going to say, you're from the same city as our current president, I think, Scranton, Pennsylvania,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Scranton, Pennsylvania, the one and only Yet
where
office.
Joe Biden is from.
Mm-hmm. Which is crazy to think about. Like that our president was born and raised here. So it's pretty crazy to think that I was born and raised in the same town.
Now, when he got the nomination as the president, did the town of Scranton go crazy? Was there like a big party that in
I didn't know. I really don't know. I didn't really see anything.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure there was some things going on when he won. I'm not sure. I don't really like keep up with those type of things,
Oh,
like
okay.
with celebrations. But I'm sure there was a bunch of things going on when he won. I'm sure.
Has he been back to Scranton ever since?
I believe so. Yeah, I think he's been here a couple times since he won. So, there's usually a lot of roadblocks off when he comes to town, but he's been here multiple times since he won back in 2020.
And look like he's going to run again in 2024. So,
Yeah, looks
um,
like it. So we'll see how it goes then. Maybe he'll come down to Scranton once, like his hometown, home city again once he runs.
and so going back to the Empower that you had started, how how was it that all this began, and how long have you been doing it for?
Yeah, so I started this back in June of 2021. So wait, 2022, I'm so bad remembering
22.
what date I started, but June 2022. So it's been about 2 years since I started this, and basically it was all Gina Davis who inspired me to do this. If anyone knows, she has her own institute, Gina Davis Institute on Gender Media, which she started back in 2004. And basically I found out about her when I watched her movie A League of Their Own, which is a female sports movie, a true story, and I watched it for the first time when 2020. Once the pandemic sent that a lot of time my hands and was looking for different things to watch with my mom. And um, once I watched that movie, I saw her, which I didn't know who she was, but I saw one of the girls in the movie, and I was like, "Oh, mom, who's this?" Because she saw the movie multiple times before I did, so I'm sure she knew who this person was. And I asked her, I was like, "Do you know who that girl is?" And she's like, "Oh, that's Gina Davis." And I was like, "Okay, wonderful." So I looked her up as I really thought she was an amazing actor. And so I looked her up after I finished watching the movie, and I saw all the wonderful things she was in, like Beetlejuice, Selma Louise, Cutthroat Island. There were so many wonderful movies she was in, and I found out about her institute, and I was like, oh my gosh! Like as growing up, I honestly didn't see myself on screen, and I kind of thought it was a problem. But of course, growing up, I didn't know what representation or gender bias or inclusion was. Since I was young, I didn't know what those words meant. I didn't know the definitions. So I was like, okay, like what's going on? And once I saw her institute, I'm like, okay, I'm not crazy. This is insane. I'm not the only one who sees these things. So I did more research, and as times went on, when I started my podcast, I tried as much as possible to spotlight different women in different career fields like sports, entertainment, acting, like you name it. I try to spotlight as much women as possible, but I figured like not everyone listens to podcasts, not everyone's into those type of things.
Yeah.
So I decided to kind of start an organization during the summer of 2022 to really bring more attention to this. Because of course, like this is something that needs more awareness for. So I ended up starting that June of 2022. And it's basically our mission is to end gender bias and inclusion in the media. We have a mentorship program, ambassadorship program and stuff. And we have a variety of workshops and events that are coming up soon and collaborations. But our overall mission is to really just make sure feel everyone feels representation and see themselves and feel inspired by a variety of different women in real life and on screen.
So have you gotten to talk to Gina Davis before?
I never have, but I always wanted to. Actually going to meet her next month, so I'll be doing that next month. But currently, I never have met her, but it's always been a dream of mine.
Gotcha. So how many women are a part of or rather, let me ask that another way. How many women are you guys mentoring in the organization?
So it's very slim right now. We're just kind of up launching this mentorship program, so it's very slow. But currently we are only have one person that's part of the program so far, but we're always taking applications for people to be part of it since it's up and coming. We're still trying to promote and get people part of it. But yeah, we're just currently there's only one mentee, but there's plenty of women and stuff that are applying and stuff. So we have plenty of more to go.
So what is your overall big dream, would you say, that you're hoping to accomplish?
I would say my overall dream for this is to really just make an impact on young girls, is to make them feel inspired. Because of course, not a lot of people have mentors or inspiration or feel inspired by different people. So I would say my overall dream or goal is to really just make people, especially young girls or women, feel inspired and to go into a career field and to make them like feel that they have like they're very important in their lives.
And hopefully we'll see more of them being talk show hosts and comedians. So we'll go that route. But anyway, so going to your podcast that you have, you don't do just one, you do two different podcasts, right? The
Mhm.
one called Talk of Fame, and then
Mhm.
what's the other one?
An EPA story.
NEPA Story. And I think the Talk of Fame podcast is kind of like what I'm doing. You just interview people from different fields of the entertainment industry and sports, and talk about their stories. And what is the other one that you do?
Yeah, so an EPA story is the one I do locally here in Northeast PA. So I started this back in December 2023, and basically I started that to interview local businesses, journalists, bands, and a variety of different places to kind of spotlight their work and to really kind of bring them awareness for people that are looking for different things to go to or for hiring or something. It's to kind of bring the spotlight to their things and what they have to offer and their mission. So I host a variety of different episodes. It's not as big as the Talk of Fame one. I put more effort into that one, but like it's really the aim for that one is to kind of spotlight a variety of different people and businesses to get them more of a spotlight and to like get them more attraction.
I've seen pictures of you on different news programs being interviewed as well. So your
Mhm.
podcast is gaining really big traction in a short amount of time.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I never expected it to be attracted. Honestly, I thought it was gonna last maybe a couple of weeks to a couple months. I didn't expect it. It was kind of a something to do while the pandemic was happening to keep myself busy. But I never expected a couple years later that it would gain such attraction as it has with media and everything.
So you also have a couple of cousins that also work in the news field where you're at, right?
Yeah, two of my cousins. My Aunt Randy and my cousin John work for the local news station here, and they're pretty amazing people and good at what they are doing. But yeah, they really um inspired me to go into like podcasting and journalism with growing up with them.
Did they help set up the interviews for you on the news stations?
No, they don't. I
No.
do it on my own. I wish they did, but I basically do all my own. But who knows? My Aunt Randy tried to set me up with something, but you never work through. So maybe in the future.
And also, to go along with everything that you're doing, you are writing a memoir currently.
Yeah.
So tell us about that and when you expect it to come out, or if there is a date in the near future.
Yeah, I can't say much about it. It's a little surprise, but it's going to be basically about my journey from anxiety and depression, and a little bit about a deep dive into what I do and kind of where I was to where I am now, um, and basically kind of what I see, with women empowerment, how like what is exactly what it is, and there's no release date yet, but I plan on releasing it maybe by the end of this year or early next year. So make sure everyone is stay tuned for that. But it's all up
Absolutely.
in the air currently.
Love to have you back on when you get it out and hopefully get a copy this way to read it.
Yeah, definitely. Once it's
Yeah.
all done, I'll make sure to send one to you.
Thank you so much. Well, Kylie, thank you so much for your time. It's very nice to meet you, and thank you for coming on the program.
Of course. Thanks so much for having me. It was so fun.
Thank you so much.